Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
We've covered high-definition television at points in the past, done several videos, people asking the differences between 1080i and 720p. I'm not going to answer that because I've answered it before. But in this holiday shopping season, more people are, picking up HDTVs for their house. And that's great. It's great to hear. Once you've seen a high-definition signal, it's difficult to go back to standard television. And I think within a matter of years, and I mean like a couple of years, you won't even be able to buy a standard definition television because HD is everywhere. In fact, it's in the air. You can't see it right now, but if you had an antenna and a tuner capable of rendering that signal, you could be watching HDTV signals without going through any particular cable provider or satellite provider, any kind of content provider, so to speak, for your television. So at least two people emailed me in the past couple of days asking about LCDs versus plasma screens, and asking which one I thought was better. And of course I responded. I said, well, I think plasma is better, but there are some people out there who think LCD is better. So don't ask someone what they think is better. You have to figure that out for yourself, because you may look at an image on an LCD screen and say, wow, that's great. Well, the one on the plasma sucks. And then the person standing next to you may say just the opposite. It's completely subjective. The things I can tell you, big differences between the LCDs and the plasmas. Well, there are a few. This isn't going to be a very technical discussion, but I think it's going to give you a better direction in terms of what you're likely going to end up with if you have to choose between, or you want to choose between, an LCD and a plasma. I'm not really going to bring DLP into it at this point. With an LCD, you've got a very, very thin screen, but most importantly, an LCD is smaller, potentially, has a smaller footprint as sitting on an entertainment center or on a shelf, versus a plasma, and I think they get as small as about 40 inches, right around there. And LCDs are, you've seen LCD TVs, they are smaller. So if you're working inside a space that isn't all that big, well, then you may have to go with an LCD. Versus a plasma screen, unless you've got 40 inches or more to play with in your entertainment center or in that area. Plasmas are a little larger as well. But I, as I said, find the image quality in a plasma screen to be much more to my liking. That's the colors and good color, so long as you're looking at a plasma screen that produces color and an image quality that you like, because not all plasma screens were built alike, just like not all LCD TVs were built alike. You have to really look at the image, watch content you'd normally watch. So if it's sports, watch a sample sports video on a television you're thinking about buying, whether it's a plasma or an LCD. I can tell you that by and large, the image on an LCD TV tends to be sharper, almost too sharp, in my opinion, and the colors don't seem to be very realistic. They're not true to life. It's either not saturated enough or too saturated on an LCD. The plasma screens that I've seen that have been set up in the right environment, that have been, haven't been tweaked in any way, the images tend to be more natural. I find that there's less washing out of the colors. But again, you're talking about a larger size with the plasmas. In terms of prices, well, yeah, they range. So you got to keep a lot of things in mind. You got to think size. You got to think about your own budget. And I always say, buy what you can afford. You don't want to put one of these things on a 6-month plan. That's the worst thing you could do. Because 6 months from now, I guarantee, the things that you buy today are going to be totally out of date. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't jump into an HDTV. Not by any stretch of the imagination. Now, you may ask, well, Chris, why didn't you even bring up DLPs? Isn't that an HDTV? Well, it is. But I think what most people find out there and what they have to decide between are LCDs and plasmas. That's at least what I see. And that is my biggest tip for you if you're thinking about buying an HD TV. And that is to experience something. As I said, If you watch sports, watch a sports sample on the TV you're thinking about buying. If you watch more movies, well, watch the type of movie that you would normally watch on that screen. Does it feel good? Does it, does it really, that image is amazing? What do you think? It's not about me. It's not about what I think. It's not about what the reviewers necessarily think. It's not about what the web thinks. You can't experience a television over a web video. You can't experience a television over an image that was uploaded to some website. You can't experience a television anywhere but in front of the television itself. So you're going to have to find a way to get in front of that television. Find a local store, and hopefully you've got one, that carries that model, that exact model. Combine that experience with the reviews you've read from other people, and if it feels good and it looks good and it's a good price, then that's the one for you. One thing you've got to keep in mind, especially during this entire process of getting the HDTV, and you're watching it there in the store, let's say, or on the showroom floor, is that the lighting there is going to be different from your lighting at home. The sound there is going to be different from your sound at home. Try to find someone who knows what they're talking about, who's either shopped for an HDTV before, done the research to give you more help, to tell you whether or not a model is going to be good or not, the longevity of that particular model, how that brand stands up over time, not just with image quality, but specifically is it going to last a while. There are a lot of things you have to consider, not just these surface issues. Now, I'll tell you this too. Even though I like plasmas happen to have the potential of image burn-in. Doesn't happen so much now with later generation plasmas. It was really bad with earlier generations. But even though my Panasonic plasma screen, which is not small, it's not too large, but it's big enough, it does have burn-in, even though there's something like, they call it pixel dancing, that's supposed to keep images from being burnt in. And it's you can definitely tell it's somewhat of an issue. But I can change the channel, and everything that was there before is gone. Don't really experience a lot of ghosting as much as I might experience on an LCD. But again, it was within my budget. I like the size. I like the image quality. I saw it in person. I read the reviews. It was the one for me. For me. So you can ask me what I think is better. It's not what you think is better. Don't outsource your thinking to me, because I'm not the one who's going to be watching your HDTV. You are. So do your research. Experience it for yourself. And don't ask me what I think, at least as far as what's the best HDTV, because my eyes, well, dude, these are like Coke bottles here, okay? My eyes suck. And so if I took my glass, oh God, that image quality is horrible. Boy, that's bad. So much better there as soon as I can see right through my glasses. Don't count on my eyes. Don't count on my eyes. Anyway, if you have any other general consumer electronics tips, HDTV purchasing tips, LCD TV tweaking tips, whatever tips you have, send them over. Love to share them, especially during this season, where, as I said before, a lot of people are considering making an upgrade from a standard television to an HDTV. Let me know what you think. My email address is chris@pirillo.com, and as some people are already typing in, we are typically talking in a chat room. We're talking right now, and a lot of people are asking advice for suggestions, pointers for information, maybe their experiences with having gone through the purchasing process of picking up an HDTV. But the chat room is there, is what I'm saying, and it's there all the time. I mean, it's there right now. I mean, you may be watching the chat room on a big screen TV. Who knows? But the only place to find out whether or not we're talking about you right now or what we're talking about is to stop by. And that place is at live.pirillo.com. Will you later?